Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are.
There's a woman in the shot.
There's a woman in the shot.
There's a woman in the shot.
That is Gretchen Richert, who is preparing
the fan.
The garden for.
I'm preparing the fan.
And she's preparing the fan for using the fan in case it's hot. Now, we're not going to talk over each other much anymore. Now we're beginning the first broadcast from the Invisible Studio, from the kitchen cabinet of William Richert. That's me. And you can't see the kitchen cabinet, but later on in this broadcast or some other broadcast or no broadcast, we're going to broadcast the cabinet in the kitchen. Right now, first of all, I'm going to make an unofficial telephone call to my friend Dennis Hayden, who is going to sign on, we hope, and for the actors of America, the union and non-union actors of America who have been totally removed from the equation of Hollywood's union's interest in their actual and true well-being. The actors are no longer part of the union's equation for actor well-being, and that's part of what we're going to be talking about with Dennis when I make this telephone call. But in the meantime, I'm doing this test because it becomes the first broadcast, and broadcast means tell, broadcast about the affliction that's been cast upon the writers and actors and directors in Hollywood from thieving union leaders who conceal true facts from them. Okay, and I'm going to be talking to Dennis Hayden in a minute on this cell phone. The cell phone is going to be calling Dennis Hayden in a minute or not. Now, let me tell you something. In an ordinary broadcast channel, we'd be cutting to a commercial. But we're not going to do that here. We're not going to have commercials. What we're selling, if we're selling anything, is a reenacting of the right to copyright, the right to write without interference, the right to work without interference, the right to perform without interference or scrutiny or spies or being put out of work. That's what we're talking about here, among other things. And we're going to be talking about justice because we're going to be in court as a class. And that means something. Da-da-da-dum. Da-da-da-dum-dum-dum-bum. There's a rhythm and a meaning to a class action. See, it's not rabble. It is not a rebellious action even. It is a concerted aim on the part of several or more, in this case writers, actors, and directors, to get a transparent accounting for money that's been taken from them by the Hollywood sister unions, and call them cunts if you want to. I'm okay with that. Now I'm going to be calling Dennis Hayden in a minute here. But first I want to make sure that this is actually being recorded into my computer and it can actually put up this on YouTube as a broadcast, which it is, from Hollywood, USA. Well, wait a minute. Now we're getting into Hollywood. I just read Chris Heiser is given a forum in Variety. He's a union leader to write an article about how 150,000 people in Hollywood are going to be affected by any kind of takeover of the internet, by which he means certain people getting access to it and depriving other people access, but all of it goes to the asshole of this guy and his union, see? And these few pipelines, all right? I'm going to be calling Dennis Hayden about this in a minute. In fact, wait a minute. In fact, I'm telling you something. I'm going to have to test this to see if it's working, and then I'll come back, and I'll be calling Dennis Hayden. Say, okay. And remember, this is broadcasting from what we used to call the Invisible Studio, made manifest. See? The invisible made manifest. That's what we're dealing with. Also, we're dealing with other subjects here. My friend River Phoenix is very important. Okay. And in a minute, we're going to come back and I'm going to call Dennis Hayden.